Today you will do a close reading of The Dinner Party. We have done close readings together as a class, and today you will do it on your own. A close reading will involve these 4 components. The first is multiple readings. Go back and reread the passage, looking either for specific elements that you know are in the text, or for patterns of images, words, ideas, etc. A close reading also goes beyond comprehension. When practicing close reading, begin by reading the passage and writing or thinking of a short summary of what you've read. Writing a summary will help you identify the main ideas and ensure that you have a working understanding of what you've just read. But you want to go beyond just your basic understanding of the text. This is where annotation comes into play. Annotation is the act of adding notes of explanation to a text. Annotating as you read makes you pay closer attention. When you write notes of explanation, you can get a sense of your own understanding, and it leaves a permanent record of your thinking to aid you in further study. As you become more skilled in annotating text, you will begin to notice patterns, contrasts, and symbolic elements that you might have previously missed when reading independently. Remember that simply identifying elements is not enough. You must include some explanation of how the element creates a deeper understanding of the text. Deeper understanding of the text is not something you gain in 1 or even 2 readings of a passage, but after several close readings, taking notes, and thinking about a text, you will have a deeper understanding. Here are some examples of ways you can annotate your text. You can mark your text in a variety of ways: highlighting, circling, or underlining, as well as using a box, brackets, parentheses, and asterisks are all ways you can identify different elements in your annotation. However you choose to mark your text, the notes you write in the margins should connect what you have marked to effect or meaning. Make sure you are not just highlighting, circling, or underlining, but that you are also writing notes in the margins that make these connections. Here's a list of common elements that can be annotated. Details. Mark any details that have a definite effect. Think about why the author includes these details. Note the importance of the details in the margin. Diction. Mark any connotative diction. Do the words bring to mind positive or negative feelings? What more specific emotions do the words suggest? Is there a pattern to the kinds of words the author uses? What does the author want to convey through these word choices? Make sure to comment on the effect in the margins. Imagery. Mark the text for imagery, words or phrases appealing to the senses, and write comments about the effect of the imagery in the margin. What does this image bring to mind? What emotions are stirred by the images? Next, comparisons. Similes, metaphors, personification. Briefly note the effect of these comparisons. What is the similarity between the 2 objects being compared? What additional understanding is created through the comparison? Point of view. How does the perspective from which the story or information is presented affect the reader's understanding? Write your comments in the margin. Repetition. What is the author trying to emphasize through repeated ideas, images, or words and phrases? Shifts. Shifts or changes in tone, point of view, verb tense, anything that changes the overall pattern. Take note of these and the effect of those changes. Plot and conflicts. Mark important plot events and/or conflicts, briefly noting the importance of each. What does the conflict reveal about the character or the theme? Characters. Mark descriptive passages about the characters. Make brief notes about the relationships between the characters or personality traits of characters in the margins. Sound devices, such as alliteration, rhyme, or onomatopoeia. Comment on the effect in the margins. And symbolism. Make a connection from this technique to an effect in your comments. Here are some clues that we know are present in the short story, The Dinner Party. As you read The Dinner Party for a second, third, maybe even a fourth or fifth time, I want you to highlight where you see these elements present in the text. Use the highlighting tools on your computer to highlight any information in the story related to characters blue, plot purple, point of view yellow, conflict pink, setting green, and symbols orange. As I said, go through the text a couple times. You should be able to find at least one element or component of the story to highlight in each color. Pause this video until you're finished reading and annotating The Dinner Party. Here are some examples of what you may have highlighted in your story. The third paragraph, a woman's unfailing reaction in any crisis. You may see there's highlighted blue for characters. The Colonel believes that women lack self-control. Characters' opinions and beliefs may be clues to theme. In yellow, we've highlighted the American does not join in the argument but watches the other guests. As he looks, he sees a strange expression come over the face of the hostess. She is staring straight ahead, her muscles contracting slightly. The narrator's point of view is limited to what the American notices. This heightens suspense by leaving the cause of the hostess's expression unknown. In purple, we have, of the guests, none except the American notices this or sees the boy place a bowl of milk on the veranda just outside the open doors. This relates to plot. The author uses foreshadowing. Readers sense there is something significant about the bowl of milk, but do not yet know what it is. In green, we have, in India, milk in a bowl means only one thing, bait for a snake. He realizes there must be a cobra in the room. Setting. The setting of this story is crucial to the plot. In India, the bowl of milk has a special significance. Lastly, in pink, his first impulse is to jump back and warn the others, but he knows the commotion would frighten the cobra into striking. He speaks quickly, the tone of his voice so arresting that it sobers everyone. This relates to the conflict. The American faces an internal conflict. He wants to warn the others, but does not want to endanger them. He must exercise self-control, which begins to emerge as a theme. On the last page, in the line, "You were right, Colonel," the host exclaims, "a man has just shown us an example of perfect control." We see some clues about character. The host's statement recalls the argument at the beginning of the story. A repeated idea may point to the theme of a story. Lastly, the final line of the story, a faint smile lights up the woman's face as she replies, "Because it was crawling across my foot," relates to the plot. In the resolution, we discover that Mrs. Wemyss has shown more self-control than any other character. This last line is a clue to the theme. What is the theme of this story? If you can remember from previous units, theme is revealed or created through the conflict. Theme is abstract versus conflict, which is concrete. When we discuss and write about theme, we're examining the ways that every element of the text is linked to the insight about life that the work reveals. First, you need to determine the specific thematic idea. This is an abstract idea. It can be expressed in one or two words. It's what the author explores through the plot and the characters. Some questions you might ask are, what does the text say about blank? Whatever you would fill in the blank would be your thematic idea. What is the life lesson being taught about blank? What are the author's ideas about blank? From the thematic idea, you will create a thematic statement. A thematic statement is a complete declarative statement that reveals what the author is trying to communicate about the human experience through his or her literary work.